Okay, let me talk about the importance of this setup when it comes to the deadlift. What I see happen oftentimes, either whether it's people in vigor training or with my clients over the years, is as they walk up to the bar, all that's on their mind is lifting that bar up off of the ground. And as we mature as adults, we get lazy in the way that we move. And because of that, when we bend down to pick something up, whether it's a dog off of the floor or a bag of groceries, we do this sort of a thing. We cave forward because that's how we sit most of the day too. Shoulders forward, back round. We don't think about the way that we're moving when we go to pick something up off of the floor. So we approach the bar, grab a hold of it, and just lift without giving it much thought. Well, for those of you that have been following vigor training for a while, you know that every training session starts with movement prep. And a lot of those movements are about retraining your posture, which is why it's so critical for novices to intermediates to never skip the movement prep part of your training sessions. Because what we're doing is before we even start training, we're retraining our body to get into the right position. So when you look at doing something like the scapular retraction, you're hanging off of the bar this way, but what you're doing is getting your shoulders pulled back into a proper position. When we do hanging scapular depressions, we're training ourselves to pull our shoulders down so that before you even walk up to the bar, you're already in a much better position posture-wise to pick that up. So then the first step before you lift that bar is to get yourself reset on the bar. So the way that I approach the bar, I'll grab it, pull it in towards my shins. If you don't pull it in towards your shin, you're starting the lift from way out here, and that puts a lot of tension on your lower back. That's not necessary. So we want to pull it nice and tight to our shins. That's why oftentimes if you're doing the deadlift right, you're going to end up with some skinned shins. And then before you pull up on that bar, the most important thing is to actually pull your chest down to the bar and reset your posture. So sometimes people will say, well, you gotta do a deadlift with a straight back. And getting into a straight back is hard to think of in your head. So what I have people do is pull their chest with their elbows locked, pull their chest towards the bar. I'm going to turn this so you can see it from the side. So as you're setting up for the movement, it looks like this. Now, you may, as long as you're not pulling, it's okay if you've got a rounded back. I usually do. Then I'll pull the bar in towards my shins. And then before I lift, I'm going to lock my elbows and pull my chest down towards the floor. And then I'll drop my hips and begin the movement to pull it up. So as you can see, that resetting is the most important part of the deadlift, because otherwise what people will inevitably do is pull the bar towards their shins and then just pull like this. And you can see how much more rounded my back was. That's going to put a lot of stress in the back and increase the risk of injury. So pull the bar in towards your shins, pull your chest down, get set in the right position. So drop those hips so that you can drive with the legs and not just with the back. And then pull. So again, the key is grab the bar and basically do an inverted scapular retraction. So rather than hanging off the bar this way, where we're resetting ourselves, we're doing it from the opposite direction, pulling our chest towards the bar, and then beginning the movement. So you can see how much, I even have a little bit of an arch, but how much more straight my back is. So start with that before you do the pull.